Welcome everybody to our live Zoom here. I'm so glad you're here. I'm hoping that everybody's hearing me okay. But today I am so excited to have this opportunity to interview Cathy, who had a huge transformation in her marriage. And yeah, Cathy, welcome to the call. And I would love to just start off, like maybe to share a little bit about, how things were. And yeah, why don't we start there?
Okay. So we just had a really high conflict marriage. It started right away. It wasn't modeled well. A marriage wasn't modeled well for me at home. My mom was very controlling, and I know that I wasn't controlling during our dating years. We dated for a couple of years. But it was like right when we got married, I thought that the only way that our marriage could survive or everything can work out fine is if I took control of everything. And my type A husband was not receptive to that. And so it was just really high conflict. We'd go through high highs, low lows, and it was just a roller coaster for years. We're going to celebrate 16 years of marriage next Friday. And so for years, it's just been up and down, up and down. And, bless him that he hung out with me until I've made these changes, because the changes have been pretty great.
Wow. 16 years is coming, so that's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Were there any points where maybe you didn't think you were going to make it to 16 years?
Several. He threatened divorce a lot. That was kind of his go-to, and he's a child of divorce, so I think that's all he kind of knew, how to end the conflicts. So lots of times, and I believed him every time that he said it, and thank God he never pulled the plug. But I just, and especially earlier this year, it just, he was miserable. I was making him miserable, and I thought that he would leave. And I think the saving grace for him not quite pulling the plug was our 5 kids. So I'm thankful for them. So that he didn't finally pull the plug, and that he held on long enough for me to figure things out.
Yeah. So what did you figure out?
Well, that I couldn't control him. I could only control myself. And just the skills, figuring out that I had to have my cup full to do anything for any of my family. Like I would yell a lot with my kids even too. So it was just there was no peace in our home. It was just high conflict, everyone's on high alert all the time. And I wasn't relaxed at all. So even just starting with the self-care skill just started easing tension everywhere, because I was filled with my, filling my own cup so I could give to everyone else in my home. And really just the skills building onto that, I figured out that he does love me, and he wanted this marriage, he wants to be in this marriage, but he was just waiting for me to be who I was when he met me. Just lighthearted, goddess of fun and light. That's big here. Yeah, just figuring out how to implement the skills. First of all, I didn't know of the skills. And no one teaches you that when you get married. No one teaches you that when you're in conflict. No one teaches you that. We've been in counseling before, and that's certainly not what they were teaching us. So just figuring out the skills and implementing them was a turning point. And it happened almost immediately. I remember a week after our first phone call, there was just a softness to, and it was a phone call because he was out of town. There was just a softness in his voice it was like he exhaled, because I wasn't just constantly picking at him. So yeah, it was immediate for us, which I'm thankful for.
Wow. Yeah, it's eye-opening when we see that when we change, they change. That happened in my house too. It was sort of like, what's going on here? But for years I tried to change my husband, and none of that worked. He just dug in, and he just got angrier and angrier and felt criticized all the time. And it was like when I turned that finger back over here and I started changing me, and I got softer, and I yeah, really found my happiness again. So
Mhm.
felt like, okay, like what's going on over there? I want to be a part of that, but
Right.
he didn't really want to be a part of the controlling me, right?
Mm-mm,
Yeah, it
mm.
was compelling to him. So
Right.
yeah,
Yeah, he was really receptive to it. You know, he wasn't. I had heard stories, and in the book, it talked about maybe that they would push back a little bit, and he thankfully has been really receptive. There's been some bait thrown, but and you know, I fail sometimes too still, but it's quick recovery, and it's just nice to know um what I can do to help myself and help our marriage, because when I'm my best self, our marriage is at its best, our family life is at its best, our home is at its best. So knowing that and knowing the skills to reach that has been so nice.
yeah, it's like you have a tool belt now, and you can
Right.
go, you know, the go-to, and
Hmm.
you really are. The woman is the heart of the home, and it's up to us to manage ourselves. And self-care is not selfish, like so many of us think, and it really is self-preservation. It's making sure that we go to the well and get filled up. We have something to give, and yeah, wow. So you went from him having that go-to of wanting to get a divorce
Hmm.
now.
Um, now he I know he feels safe to um if he needs to snap, like I have a moment where I try, you know, control comes out of me. He knows that he can snap and not have to take it further. Like he knows he can be like, Cathy, we're not doing that. And I can respect him and say, okay, you know, you're right, and he knows that I can back off now instead of picking. I used to chase that man around the house to try to resolve our conflicts. That's so terrible. um, but now I know, you know, that's exactly the opposite of what he wants, and so he needs a space, and then we work through it. We had one bump in the road, but besides that, we're very quick at turning it around, apologizing. I apologize quickly, he has apologized quickly, and we just end the night happy together. It's a low conflict, just peaceful. And that's it. The start of this journey is the peace that I was seeking for our home at every aspect of our home, and we're getting there.
Yeah, that was your goal. That was your goal. And so tell me about that, what happened when he was talking with some of his hunting buddies.
So a few things with the hunting is just, he's a very avid hunter, and I'm grateful. Our freezers are full, which is very, very nice for a family of 7. And he has one hunting buddy who in his wife, well, a few hunting buddies whose wives are not as accepting of the hunting bug that they have, I guess. And so he's come home and just been like, I'm so glad, or no, I apologize. That's what happened. I apologize for being controlling like the wife was being. And he said, you're not like that. That's not how you are. And then a more recent one, he said he was joking that he hoped that I'd put my foot down and not let him get another mount for a home. And I teased him back and said, I'm not like that anymore. And he told me that I never was like that, which, I mean, poor man, he's mistaken. I was very much like, but I like to call it, yeah, the respected husband amnesia, because that man does not remember me being a control freak or anything. He thinks that I've been just great this whole 16 years, and I'm going to let him think that. But,
Absolutely.
yeah,
Yeah.
I know the truth.
Yeah. And it sounds too like some of these other husbands are a little jealous in a sense that.
Yeah, it was a phone call just a few days ago, last week maybe. His friend made a comment and was like, oh, that's not the way that it plays out in my house. He joked that he was going to be in divorce court or something, you know. And it's so sad. Yeah, but it was nice, you know, my husband kind of set up a little taller, because he doesn't have that kind of wife that's going to nag him, and he knows that, and he's grateful for that. So
Wow.
yeah.
Wow. Huge transformation, Cathy. That's why I wanted you to get on here to share our other wives, because, you know, a lot of us, a lot of women struggle in all different levels in their relationship, but, you know, like we're really standing for wives to be happy and to have but loving, intimate marriages, especially like, yeah, for our children, you know, like
Right.
ourselves, but you know, God wants that next generation to grow
Mhm.
solid families. And so I give you so much credit for being able to transform yourself and transform your marriage. It gives a lot of hope to a lot of people.
Thanks.
What would you like if there's a message or something that you want to share with someone who might watch this and might be thinking, well, what do I do? How do I do this? What message do you want to give her?
That the skills will give you hope. I just think it's given me so much hope, and I'm still so hopeful for my marriage. And prior to finding you and really going all in, I was feeling pretty hopeless. And there are moments in these 16 years that I felt hopeless often. So just decide to go all in. You don't have to feel hopeless. There is hope. And the skills are transformative for not just your marriages. I know people come in when they're you know, at their wits' end about their marriages a lot of times, but it's transformed me. It's transformed my husband. It's transformed our marriage together, and it's transformed our home. So yeah, just deciding to go all in is going to change your life in every aspect of your life. So
Beautiful. You know what? And it's so important, like you're saying here, because I've got a lot of young brides who are finding me. And it's sort of like, it's kind of exciting because, gosh, they could avoid a whole lot of pain.
whole
Wish that this was in marriage prep and that I could reach people because they could just avoid a whole lot of pain. And yeah, because we all know, like once the kiddos come, yeah, this life changes big time when babies come, and certainly
right.
5 of them, yeah, the world changes. And so,
Right.
yeah, Cathy, I just really admire your vulnerability, your courage, your commitment to other women as well, you know, to your family, but to be able to be willing enough to be vulnerable to come on live here and share with these ladies. And I'm so grateful, just so grateful to you.
I'm so grateful for the opportunity, because if I could just shout this from the rooftops. And, you know, like you said, for the brides, I want to give a book to every bride, every brand new bride, so they can just avoid the nonsense.
Avoid the nonsense. Absolutely. So awesome. You are an inspiration, lady. And I'm so proud of you. So happy. And you had posted a picture. Your husband got that huge, is it deer, right? Like, I don't know if that's an elk or what it is, but
No, he's a busy man.
He's a busy man. Yeah. Awesome. Well, thank you, Cathy, and we'll talk again real soon.
Thank you.
Okay. Bye-bye.